So my PGCE training at university, all of it was around teaching all of the subject in a computer lab. So it didn't matter whether I was teaching theory or practical skills, it was children in front of a machine. So all of the techniques and teaching techniques and the pedagogy was centered around children tasked to sit in front of a screen. And then I get my first job at this really wonderful South London school. And when they were showing me around in the rooms and they said, right, for your GCSE and your A-level students, out of the 3 lessons you're going to be teaching them that week, one of them is going to be in this room, which is a standard classroom with no machines. I looked at them and I looked at the classroom and think, this is great. Yeah. They said, well, we think, you can teach theory better if you teach it away from the distractions of the machines. I'm like, yes, this sounds wonderful. How do you teach in this room? And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm teaching a practical subject and you want me to teach it without the machine. So how do I, what are the recommended ways that you would suggest I do that? And they said, talk to the kids, make lots of notes on the board, make sure they're copying the notes that you write on the board and then get them to answer some questions. And then the rest is their responsibility. As long as they've got a good set of notes in their books to revise for their exam, your job is done. Doesn't quite sound right to me, but okay, fair enough. I observed a lot of lessons and I found there was a bit of a standard recipe, which was teacher talk at the front. Some were charismatic and inspiring and engaging, others were slightly less so. And then it was children turn to this page, answer questions A to G, and the teacher would circulate and help. And that was it. That was like the standard pedagogy recipe, and it just didn't sit well. And so my experimentation with that then really began, and I discovered the work of some great people in my research, and a great guy called Dr. Tim Bell, through which I learned you can teach publicly encryption using padlocks, boxes, and chocolate bars, which was that's really where my approach to computing started, which I have now since implemented in Digital Schoolhouse.